You fucking cried after 3 days in the fucking holding tank. Looked like a fucking pile of wet rags at court. You should see how I showed up to court after 3 days in the box with the light on.
Please, is there anything I can do, sir? Please.
Does he look like a bitch? What?
Don't do this to my wife, man. You don't know what you're doing to my family, man.
Does he look like a bitch?
Sir, please don't make me sleep in jail tonight, sir, please. I'm begging.
We're not criminals.
They're gonna make me sleep in jail.
Continue. You were saying something about best intentions?
Josh has never been arrested for recording.
Okay, so that's him getting arrested, and then his friend here makes a phone call that I want to touch on.
I'm more than happy to take a peek at the title if you're willing to give it to me.
Yeah, I'm sure you are, but that's my thing. I'm not trying to give up
My
information.
I just thought you said you were willing to show it.
Right. It's important to get every single person and piece of property registered and identified with a state of and a corporate entity.
God damn it.
You just gotta do it. It's gotta happen.
Questions like why I do what I do, why I am the person I am, and how you can't see that by coming up to a man and trying to identify him. Like a piece of plastic doesn't identify me. That's not me. I am me.
Why do we all pretend like it's better to exchange little plastic pieces to pretend that that means anything about who I am, that am is, or what I am, that am, or what it's connected to? Better yet, right? So that is the greatest resource and source of order and co-creation. The little plastic pieces don't do it any justice.
This is like my personal journey.
Dude, it's crazy because if you would have just given me your name,
If you guys would adjust, right? This is your logic. This is the logic of a tyrant, right? This is the logic of a horrible parent. This is the logic of an authoritarian everywhere. If you would have just did everything that we told you and asked you, we wouldn't try to make your life harder and do loss, injury, and harm to you. That is the rallying cry of tyrants everywhere from the beginning of time. Go fuck yourself. You don't get to tell us what we're going to do and be in life. All you teachers, all you parents, all you authoritarians, all you false prophets, you don't get to tell us what we're going to do and be in life at the expense of rolling up your sleeves and doing harm, like the Tao says. You know, all you subjective moralists, all you solipsists, who you and your dogma is the only thing in creation that actually exists that you can confirm.
But say, if I would have just complied, if I'd have just done what she wanted, maybe that'd be better for me. Nah, if you would just maybe listen to what I'm saying, maybe it'd be better for you. Maybe, just maybe you're making a mistake. Maybe you shouldn't be doing this to people. Maybe you're like security guard for someone you don't even know. You're a security force for an invisible entity. You're working for, you don't know, you might be working for the devil.
Stop telling other motherfuckers who may be born and may be meant to be here at this time to influence all of us to do better and be better and have better, to just stop and just shut up and just go away. You're ahead of the game. No, fuck that. It's called free expression. It's called getting really real with ourselves and each other. It's called gambling, cosmic gambling on the truth and on faith. You didn't just hear him? You didn't just hear him? He said he's waiting for the day, just like I am, when they actually can show me that they can hurt me.
Just so you know, you should be cooperative in that way. Does that make sense?
But see, we can disagree.
That you have.
To submit, comply, and obey. I don't have a responsibility to submit and comply and obey to you guys. I don't. I have an authority to God, and I have an authority to my spirit. Like, so you guys, it doesn't matter what you guys do. Like I said, you guys could take me to jail. I only get better and level up from this stuff. You guys have never hurt me yet. I'm waiting to see when you guys can hurt me. When you guys take me to jail, when you guys try to do something to hurt me, it never works. You guys never teach me a lesson. You guys are never going to come up to my car and say, and then later on be like, okay, I'm going to give you the ID this time because I went to jail that time. I'm telling you guys, man. And this ain't just about me and my dirty ass in this car. I'm speaking a truth that's beyond me in this fucking car and my goofy presentation.
all right. So, Mr. No Name, we're gonna go with it. I want you to know what we legally are allowed to do, and then I want to proceed with what we're going to. And today we're gonna serve you by just calling it good as is and leave it alone and hope we don't have any later run-ins. How's that sound?
You guys do, all three of you, like your energy, like I deal with officers in situations like this, and our people do too. Like I mess with your energy. Like even though you guys, we might not be connected, like you guys could do things to me. Like even the language, like we could like cause loss, injury, and harm to you, but we're just not going to. That's how it is to me and my people.
It's us enforcing the laws thereof. Yes.
Right, but we as human beings to one another,
Yeah.
like we all come from families, we're all brothers and sisters.
Right.
That's the kind of how I looked at it. Like we don't even get along with our own families a lot. So like, we're at the dinner table and we're having a discussion about something. That's how I look at it. And you guys are saying we can legally do this, we can legally do that, but we got to get back to the spirit of our gut instincts. It doesn't matter what's on all these papers.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We're back at it. You're right. Mr. O'Shea has grown more into his true self and the true sentiment, as far as I perceive it. Proviso, proviso, proviso. All statements made here at the time, presuming they're completely accurately spoken from the core of my beingness, are from my perspective only. I don't get to speak for anyone else, right? With that said, oftentimes I will attempt to analyze and deduce or reduce these interactions and experiences down to something that is comprehensible and explainable for us to potentially understand and have a different ability to choose in the situation, if that makes sense. So, yeah, good to see Brian O'Shea and others coming into their own more, speaking in eternal truth that resonates with the core of the beingness, at least for me. That's all I can ever speak for. And I think he's onto something there. And I think it's part of the reason why he got a favorable outcome, because the dark forces are not here necessarily to be fought against. They're there to be understood and transcended, transmuted, so that we are transformed into the image of the Most High, so to speak. So the more that we retain our centered in self and our balanced, unwavering presentment in truth with a care to allow these folks to rise to the occasion and do what they're formed to do, which is serve, as the woman said there. We're going to serve you here today. And that's what this was meant to be done and meant to happen, right? So I encourage more folks like myself and Brian O'Shea and others who've come here to attempt to do the same on the other side. Serve the truth and serve God, serve your country. As the man who got his head blown off said, this is not about what your country and Donnie and everyone else can do for you. This is about what you can do for your country, and by proxy, the law of the land. And of course, it's under God as an experience, as a conscience. So I contend that that's precisely the reason that America has fallen from greatness and grace, because the majority of individuals have failed to do this work that myself and Brian and others are attempting to practice and undertake at this time. Does it mean we have a complete understanding of what's going on here? No, I don't think anybody does. But I think a lot of us have started to get a handle on how this Holy Spirit works and what it's here to do, at least some places sometimes. True enough. Right? The complete story, the complete picture doesn't need to be known by the experiencers on the ground who are just here to play their role and play their part and walk with that word and that truth and go past their fear into faith to generate a result. So, yes, I'm not interested what other folks have to say, how silly they think it is. Yes, I will take credit with God for going past my fear and upholding the law and exercising rights on Denver, along with like dozens of other folks who, after seeing my video and networking with me privately, started doing the same thing. And yes, I will surmise that because we are doing that and have done that, Denver has become a different energy and environment when it comes to policy enforcement, right? So I would say that it's a dualistic experience. Because Brian O'Shea has grown and come into alignment, and he was willing to surrender everything and give everything up to be given everything back in truth, he had a favorable outcome. Also, because I and dozens of other folks have regularly gotten arrested on these lands over and over again, brought this to court, got dismissals, and have forced them to retrain the officers the men and women acting as officers on the ground, to stop causing loss, injury, and harm. Enforce the policy if you believe you must. Just do not interfere with everyone's rights and do not cause loss, injury, and harm, and do not try to force debts on people who have not decided to contract and agree with the terms and conditions. Very fair, very equitable, very demure, very mindful, very equitable, very trustworthy, very Americana, not like your average revolutionary, not like your average activist. So that's what this is about, right? We're not here to take whips out on these people. We're not here to do force or do violence. We're not here to fight them. We're here to win. And the only way to win in this scenario is to not fight. You just have to stand on what's true and what's right. Exercise the rights, uphold the law, speak the truth in every venue, and surrender the rest. And over time, we shall be delivered. That's my experience to some degree. That's Brian O'Shea's experience to some degree, as far as I can tell. That's the scriptural understanding. Not quite sure why a whole bunch of other cowardly, fake-ass Christians are not walking this walk with me and others. They must not love their land. They must not love God. They must not love the truth. They must not love themselves and their rights and their conscience. They must not love their country. And that's why it's not going to get great again until you become that and do that and be that and show that and live that. Makes perfect sense to me. So yeah, and I'm not interested in folks even telling me, well, Paulie boy, you're so much more aggressive and courageous and all that bullshit. It's not true. And quite frankly, there's a lot of other folks out there who are a lot more nice, kind, and polite, who came from like normal, quote unquote, as normal as I guess you could get. Because I think everybody's a little kinky in this realm. Nothing necessarily wrong with that. And we all have our faults. But folks who came from a normal household, who were like, raised properly, and they're very nice, kind, polite, loving people, I would think that they'd be even doing way better with this. Those are the people who need to employ this. Because I'm sure many of you are bored. I'm sure many of you are fearful and want to become courageous more in your life. I'm sure many of you have everything you need to show up somewhere and be nice, kind, and polite, but unwavering in truth, and say, yeah, I just can't do this anymore because the last 4 years just kind of showed me that I need to follow my moral compass. I don't want luciferase in my veins. I don't want to be regulated by a bunch of sick, twisted people who laugh and cackle and giggle and say they're here for the people. Right? I don't want it anymore. And I go, I can't, I see both sides of it. I go, if we had like hardcore gangsters on the ground, black folks, brown folks, whatever the color, from the inner cities who are willing to shoot and die, actually standing on this truth, not doing force and violence and saying, well, I've gone to prison already. I'm willing to go to prison again. Let me exercise rights and uphold the law. Do they understand how much prosperity is going to come, especially when from the other side of the tracks, a whole bunch of folks from the suburbs start standing on rights, freedom, principles, spiritual faith, and be willing to go to jail if necessary, and are so nice, kind, and polite and have no criminal record? Oh, man, it's like we only need, that's the thing. They think that we need to do some V for Vendetta thing where you see like 3/4 of the population group up. No, we just need like 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 per town, per county, per state, per all of them. And if you think that's not already happening, it is. If you think that I and others aren't a part of stewarding that and fellowshipping and inspiring that, we are, because this is an idea whose time has come. This is God's plan, not Paulie boys, not anybody else. We're just carrying that out, right? So this is the next right thing that needs to happen as far as I can perceive. If I'm on a power trip and I'm snorting my own product, proverbially, metaphorically, metaphysically, then I guess I'll find out long term. But I wouldn't trade this experience and what I've learned and the results I've gotten for anything at this point. I can't imagine me ever going blue pill and going back and saying, I never voted to begin with. I was going to say go back and vote, but I just realized in the moment I've never voted to begin with, never voted for a president, never agreed with or paid slave tax, beyond whatever the initial jobs that I had when I was younger. And then after a certain point, I'm like, well, I don't agree with this. And as time went on, I go, I'm not paying this anymore. And then of course, as time went on, I've learned more how to work in the private and work for oneself for private exchange. So, yeah, I mean, how can you go back to what you've never existed with? You know, there's only moving forward and then inspiring and influencing and taking a whole bunch of folks who were there with you, which is what this is all about, right? This is about conversation that leads to conversion. That's what God's walk and God's plan is about. Bear witness and testimony. Stand for the truth. Embody faith. Check the fear with that faith. Actualize and realize. Let's get the freak in here. Let's get my emperor creature. Oh wow. That's a wow. That's a it's very demure, very mindful.
Get her own.
All right, that's perfect. But we don't have the proper name. Emperor instead of Palpatine, it's Powerstein because his last name is Rosenrock, of course. Oh, Emperor Powerstein, good to see you. You're very majestic, very inspiring. Make sure you get like close enough to that camera to where when it's back on this angle that we can kind of see more of you and your regalia in His Majesty. But yeah, that's beautiful, man. Wow. And I'm almost tempted to I'm not even gonna do that because then I'll embarrass the emperor and I'll make him talk about all of his riches and prosperity. But I'm almost tempted to ask him what that chain is made of and what the cost is on that per pieces of 4 ply or per slave limbs. How many slave limbs would that cost in Renaissance times? Because that's a hell of a chain there. I might have to get me one of those. That's a Temu special. I might have to get me one of those.
That's right out of the Gladiator.
Right. All right, freak. I told you. I'm pretty sure why you're here, if I remember correctly, is I did tell you that I would turn the first few minutes of this broadcast over to you if you felt there was value to it. I'm willing to do that. If I said that, please feel free. Hopefully you've prepared something, so we're not mumbling and stumbling.
Okay, so first of all, I need to know what do you want to challenge first, your ideology or your brand?
You can do whatever it is that you wish.
All right,
Your
which
call.
Which one is gonna get me the most insults?
Potentially today, neither, because I'm practicing a different modality today. But you never know, right? I may just pipe up and fire myself up to give the people what they're looking for, which is lol-cal central, they tell me. I don't know what that means, but I've deduced that whenever I'm screaming and yelling, cursing at people and making a ton of sense, that people really enjoy that as much as maybe my primary care physician wouldn't if I had one. I don't, so let's continue.
Okay, so we'll go with the ideology first. The whole voting thing. Do you have any prior fathers who were in the military?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So when you say don't vote, don't you think it's a little bit, kind of diminishing of their service?
No, because we've been over this.
Engaged?
Yeah, you're gonna do great here. If you're trying to test me and trigger me, oh, you're gonna do great. Because we're off to a rousing start. I've said this 1,000 times. We'll do 1,001 for your benefit. I don't consider what the military is doing and has done to be service. That's what you have been told and keep repeating by your masters, right? I don't see the service. I'm not interested in the service. I think it's a bunch of hogwash and poppycock. As my emperor down there, I'm sure would agree. The only folks who continue to this day to repeat that the military is doing service are those that are indoctrinated and brainwashed, I suspect. Okay, so I'm not quite sure how you equate folks who are close to me being in the military to servicing me and this country and this land and God, because I see quite the opposite going on.
Well, I could say for myself, my grandfather was at Normandy and Bastogne, and he did that.
That's great. My grandparents were there as well. A lot of Europeans' grandparents fought in these wars. How is it relevant to what I just said?
Because, I mean, to not take part in the system that they went and fought and almost died for and got a Purple Heart for is kind of dishonoring them, in my opinion. At least the feel.
Right, but we didn't. But that's the thing. You didn't say you were going to come up here and give every response to what I say with your opinion. We know what your opinion is. That of the average statist who's brainwashed and indoctrinated. So if you think that I'm going to go down a list of questions, answer them by speaking common sense truth, and then allow you to argue with me based on mind control and brainwashing, I'm really not into it. So if you'd like my answers and understanding and presentment, I'm willing to do that. But you're going to have to accept that here, from my perspective, I'm taking the perspective of you know little to nothing. I can evidence that, but really not necessary. Your speech will do just fine for that and your perspectives, right? So I'm taking the position that I know more than you, and I have more experience with that knowledge than you, and I have more results, right? And that I've correctly predicted and or adapted to and overcome the changes that have been organized and propagated amongst us all, specifically one of which being the last 4 years' activities. So again, you've already and others have shown yourself to me to be delusional and lacking in discernment and awareness, and willing to follow the orders of folks who are non-credible and non-virtuous, just like the military. So one leads to the other, leads to the other, leads to the other, and nothing's going to change that right now. So you're either going to have to like say, well, I don't accept that, right? And then you just live in your own world, or you look for where that's true and accept that, and then just ask me the questions, get the answers in truth and common sense. And then you can just go off and call me a narcissist because I'm only interested in giving my perspective here. If you can't say anything that makes sense, which oftentimes you can't. We've determined that. That's been determined, right? I don't know how. I don't know what that experience is like for you. I'm sure you think I'm very egotistical, narcissistic, controlling, power hungry, and all the rest of it. I'm just not willing to entertain nonsense beyond what's necessary. I've done that too much, you could argue, on these broadcasts. So let's recap. Let's review. Military, duped, mind-controlled order followers, carrying out the whims of the centralized banks, not doing service. You keep saying it's service because you're mind and heart controlled, and you're part of the collectivist agenda. Just like you're going to vote for Donnie, just like you're going to pay the slave tax to do the wars everywhere, just like you're going to claim I got to do the same, I got to be in your Babylonian cult, and you're going to then gaslight all of us and say they're helping, they're loving us, they're saving us, we need them. Not the truth. So, and then we can go one step further. When you talk about these places, Bastogne, the Pearl Harbor events, the Germany events, all the rest, we got to go to mainline history where all the usual suspects agree those events were staged and that these people wanted to go to war in those places and they funded both sides. That's mainline history record. There's no argument there. So if you want to continue to believe the romanticized dreamers version of history, you're free to do so to your own lack of understanding and awareness. I'm not going to engage in that endeavor because I believe it's foolish and fruitless, foolish and fruitless, foolish and fruitless. I have studied history. I've studied myself. I've studied the lay of the land today, the modern day realm, and I see that it all lines up. I have a more accurate mapping of reality than you do because I care more than you do. I'm probably higher intelligence than you do when it comes to connecting the dots. But put that aside, I've done more work than you. This isn't necessarily about me being more intelligent and more special. I've just done the work. I care more. I've put more into practice. I have more experience. So I don't know how else to communicate this to you and be equitable and fair and try to trigger you as least as possible, but also not pull punches when it comes to being open to potentially offending folks with what is and what's been demonstrated. Right? If we went to, yes, Pearl Harbor was staged. Okay, let's give them what they need. Here's Mr. Clausen for the 100th time. Because we got a new viewer. He's an Israeli lobbyist. This is over 15 years ago. He stands up and says, quote, we need to figure out how we're going to get to war with Iran. Traditionally, the way that's done is through U.S. interests. He then goes on to say, some folks might say, to avoid having to take liability for saying this on the record, that all major wars have been funded and started because the other side wanted to get into it, wanted to do expansionism, wanted to get more funding from the central banks. And the way we do that traditionally is going to war. He then talked specifically about Pearl Harbor, the Gulf of Tonkin, and all these events that are mainline history on record. Lyndon Baines Johnson agreed. okay, came out and spoke on it, that it was all a lie. I said the boys are floating in the water. I didn't have any confirmation of that. Turns out after it never happened. Okay, it's called false flag attacks. Some might say and argue that 2001 was an example of it. 3 towers were taken down with 2 planes, and 10 wars were started ever since. And expansionism done in the Middle East, that's all led to a culmination of World War III right now. Where do you think it started? You think this is all coincidental and random? Some folks might say it's all engineered. We can go back to Morals and Dogma, the head of World Freemasonry, Albert Pike. They'll say it's a hoax. How can it be a hoax when the article is in a 1920s paper talking about him writing a book saying there will be 3 world wars that lead to world government? He accurately described all 3 world wars we've seen since. This was over 100 and some odd years ago, 1890s. So every step of the way, there's mountains and piles of evidence and proof of how this world works, and yous all won't go and get it. And when I spend 1,000 motherfucking hours to go get it and amalgamate it and communicate it, you fucking ignore it in favor of your false understanding of authority and your deceptive emotional state. It's called the cornerstones of cognitive dissonance as a dysfunction. And that's what the majority of you exemplify and display regularly. You will choose to support what you like and what you want to be true and how you feel, rather than go and look for the reality and the truth and accept it when it's shown and experienced. It's why you're so easily manipulated and suggestible and duped over and over again throughout history. It's why you keep voting for masters who seek to do nothing other than take your rights and your property and convince you they're helping you. Let's go to Clausen, because they'll say it never happened.
I frankly think that crisis initiation is really tough. And it's very hard for me to see how the United States president can get us to war with Iran. Which leads me to conclude that if, in fact, compromise is not coming, that the traditional way of America gets to war is what would be best for U.S. interests. Some people might think that Mr. Roosevelt wanted to get us into World War II, as David mentioned. You may recall we had to wait for Pearl Harbor. Some people might think Mr. Wilson wanted to get us into World War I. You may recall he had to wait for the Lusitania episode. Some people might think that Mr. Johnson wanted to send troops to Vietnam. You may recall he had to wait for the Gulf of Tonkin episode. We didn't go to war with Spain until the until the Maine exploded. And may I point out that Mr. Lincoln did not feel he could call out the Federal Army until Fort Sumter was attacked, which is why he ordered the commander at Fort Sumter to do exactly that thing which the South Carolinians had said would cause an attack. So if, in fact, the Iranians aren't going to compromise, it would be best if somebody else started the war. One can combine other means of pressure with sanctions. I mentioned that explosion on August 17th. We could step up the pressure. I mean, look, people, Iranian submarines periodically go down. Someday one of them might not come up. Who would know why? We can do a variety of things if we wish to increase the pressure. I'm not advocating that, but I'm just suggesting that this is not a either-or proposition. Of, it's just sanctions has to succeed or other things. We are in the game of using covert means against the Iranians. We could get nastier at that.
Right. So is it all possible that after he just revealed all the major wars in history, the majority of them at least have been staged or allowed to happen in order to continue expansionism of a global empire? Is it maybe just possible that when Joey Biden, another false leader like they are on both sides, left a whole bunch of rockets and explosives and just left them there in the middle of nowhere that then were fired into Israel? Is it maybe at all possible that these people are all working together and playing both sides against the middle and literally creating the mercenaries on the other side and then giving them the weapons and funding them to do the terror attacks to then go off and do what they wanted to do anyway and be able to justify it? It's not like we didn't find that out during World War II, I believe it was. Hard to keep these things straight because it's all the same thing happening over and over again. I'm pretty sure Marinus Vanderloo bombed the Reichstag, the retarded man, and then they blamed Poland and went to war on Poland. So was it the one retarded guy who was naked outside the chancellery who they said bombed it, who they just dropped off there that led to one of the biggest wars in history, and you buy that? Or was Hitler funded by Ford Motor Company, Henry Ford, and the Bush family on record? And they were on the radio stations over here saying the Nazis are the best thing ever. Wilt Chamberlain. Yeah, there you go. I may as well just say that because it's equally as ridiculous. Wilt Chamberlain went over to Germany. Who's the guy? His name is escaping me now. The chancellor, or lack of a better term, the leader of the UK.
What are you talking about? But I forgot his name too.
Winston Churchill.
There you go. I like Wilt Chamberlain better. I think it adds a little. Yeah, I think it adds a little something extra to the story. A huge colored man went over there. Okay, so Winston Churchill went over there and came back with a note and said, Hitler's a great guy. We should work with him. Until the stories came out about what they were actually doing. Then they all changed their story. Sounds a lot like the last 4 years. So does eugenicism, right? So does purifying the race with medical systems. Hello? Turns out we're not purifying the race. Or maybe we are. In order to purify, you got to destroy all the dumb ones and the weak ones. Hello? Maybe all the dumb, weak ones who took the vax because they were too stupid and having no instinct and intuition or knowledge of history to avoid it are going to be taken up out of here, and the race is going to be purified. Is it possible that the Holocaust never ended? Is it possible the Third Reich was never actually defeated? Is it possible we have all the motherfucking documentation and even the organizations that were created? Homeland Security comes right out of Germany and the People's Republic. Exactly what Hitler called it, Homeland Security. So folks are missing the point of how this history and this spirit and this energy moves and works. It doesn't ever lose. Its pawns are destroyed on the world stage or splintered outward, and then the philosophy continues and snowballs. It not only was not destroyed, it's proliferated and pretty much overtaken the world. Nazism, fascism, eugenicism, tyrannical medical systems, using policy and code to regulate everyone out of their property and rights. What do you think Nazism is and was? And you're all paying for it and advocating for it and waving flags and doing colorism and symbolism and telling you to vote for this Reich master and that Reich master. It's corporatism, it's fascism, it's Nazism, it's eugenicism. And that's why I say you fake-ass Christians are unrighteous and ungodly, because you'll vote for Donnie again to be your corporate master, head of a corporation as defined, who already locked everyone down and told everyone to take the vax, which has a thing in it named after Lucifer. I don't know how much more direct I have to get with you tards. I'm starting to think there's no faith or hope for you. I'm starting to think that you only occupy a position as an NPC to be destroyed in front of the rest of us so that we can choose. I don't think there's any saving you folks, either because your unwillingness, you're incredulous and unwilling, and or you're just too cowardly to accept what you already know subconsciously to be true. You've all been slaves from the beginning of time in this place. Thoughts on any of that?
We could go back even further, a couple steps before that, to when Nathan Rothschild came over and said Napoleon won the war. That's how they first moved all the money into their hands.
Oh,
prior nobles. That's how
false media reports, like they're still doing, using the media as a weapon, giving false reports. Problem, reaction, solution. Get them to pull their money out of the bank, collapse the system, move the gold standard, proliferate debt slavery.
He wanted to
create a market that could be manipulated and engineered because it's not backed by anything other than people's beliefs, which can also be altered and engineered through said media system. This is a power and control grid prison planet system. How are you not all seeing this and feeling this and understanding the history here?
There isn't even honor among them, because there were those who were running things before. They wanted a coup. Weishaupt and these guys, which is why they let the Bauerberger family play this, let's take these nobles down and put the new power brokers in. You can track back before that to the 1500s with John Dee when he started the idea with Francis Galton of eugenics.
Right, because this ultimately is all Satanism. This is what these fake Christians can't get. Every one of these seeming individuals who's working together in a group is inhabited by the same consciousness and force. And you know what that force indicates? More for me, less for everyone else. Because it does that, they're perfect and ripe for the picking to be part of the power system who also destroy themselves. The game works perfectly the way it's meant to, and it's going to happen again. They're going to destroy all of you, enslave all of you, and then destroy themselves. And that's exactly what the scripture revelation says will happen. And guess who the meek are who are going to inherit the earth? The ones who didn't take the vaccine, the ones who don't take their poison and their toxified systems, the ones who don't keep going on record over and over again as chosen slaves. They're going to get to restart and re-inhabit civilization under God and the law of the land. If we make it, the rest of you will be cast to the four winds and the four ends of the earth, so to speak.
So straight to your point, freaky guy, you know, when these founding fathers came over here and gave a sort of general guidelines document, I mean, who sent them? Obviously the Seers of Bavaria. Some would say that George Washington was Adam Weishaupt.
That what? George of Bavaria was what? I'm sorry, I missed the last part.
That George Washington was that's a character that Adam Weishaupt was playing to continue the game over here and put new slaves into motion. I mean, so when you talk about the glory and the virtue of the military, glory and virtue for what? Just because your predecessors did something stupid and immoral, you should continue?
Well, I don't know how fighting the Nazis in Germany is stupid and
They
immoral.
didn't win, you dumbass. Paul just explained.
He didn't listen to anything I just said. If he did, he can't process it.
We defeated the
Well, I'm talking
German
about like
Wehrmacht.
my personal family member.
You didn't fight the Nazis. You are the Nazis. You didn't fight the Nazis. You are the Nazis. You didn't fight the Nazis. You are the Nazis. You're fighting yourself. You're fighting yourself constantly. You're fighting common sense. You're fighting truth. You're fighting against it from the beginning of time. That's the story of Jesus. You haven't figured it out yet.
We defeated the German Wehrmacht. We did not defeat the Nazis. Even a little bit of digging will show you that Operation Paperclip, Project Paperclip, wasn't a handful of precious Nazi scientists. It was 18,500 of the SS Reich that were funneled into the US in 1951. Dig a little deeper, open your eyes.
And to Central America and South America and other places to proliferate the centralized banking systems, eugenics system, and their New World Order system. They did not fight the Nazis. They were the Nazis fighting themselves to their own foolishness and embarrassment and detriment to only help them proliferate further and start a state of Israel in 1947 to lay claim to the Holy Land in the Middle East, which they're doing now. It's one event after the next that leads to the other. You're not even capable of seeing the spirituality in this realm and how this is a thousands of years movement and plan that chains one thing off the next.
How about that?
You're conflating this whole thing.
If you want,
I'm not conflating this whole thing. You're deflating the understanding because you want to make this such a pigeonholed singular argument that you can supposedly win, and you're not. You're making yourself look foolish and unlearned and unaware.
How about that one?
So,
you take
it's not an accident.
Take a bunch of Persians, Arabs, and Hebrews, let's call them that, who are all living together just fine until a bunch of Rothschild Nazi Brits showed up in Palestine. And then what happened? The state made by Ashkenazi money. When they got there, they were not good to the Hebrew people called Sephardim who were living there. They started doing what the British always do.
They came here, they took over here, they used it to go there, they took over there, all through fake wars and funding both sides. Now they're going to the Middle East to take over there. And every time they jump from one scenario to the next using the same game plan, you keep acting like these are random singular events. They're not. You're a coincidence theorist. It's not all accidental and coincidental. It's a plan, it's a program, it's a spirit, and it's carrying itself out perfectly.
I never said. Listen, I never said that that we defeated the Nazis or anything like that. I was talking about my grandfather going to fight the Nazis.
You're talking about your dumb grandfather who can't know his ass from his elbow, signing up to be part of a corporatist centralized banking endeavor to go fight for New World Order proliferation. He's a pawn and a dupe just like you. It runs in the family, I guess.
He got a 21 gun salute at his death.
I don't give a fuck about you. Again, this is where I'm trying my best. There's no point. I'm the biggest fool here because I'm attempting to convince a fool he's been fooled instead of just fool you like your masters do.
Ideas.
Oh, you're throwing out ideas. How is it relevant other than to your emotional state that he got a 21 gun salute? How is it relevant?
Because he's not just some nothing like you're trying to say.
So because 21 bozo pawns in a uniform went like this 21 times, he's not insignificant? You're that brainwashed and indoctrinated?
It's official. Like, it's on record. It's official.
It's official. It's on record. This has to be a troll. This is a bit, right?
It's serious. I mean, that's the way it goes.
If you're serious, then I mean, it's scary. You'd be a genius, a comedic genius, pointing out foolishness and ineptness if this was a bit. If it's not, I'm shocked for you. It's concerning. This is why democracy could never work, because tards like you would be voting for who's going to make decisions for the rest of us. It could never work. You can't even apprehend reality with common sense and what makes sense.
How about Yoda?
You don't think
war
that
not make man great?
You just made a statement that is so inept and inane, just proving you're unsuccessful in every aspect of your life and proving you have no awareness, right? In case you're not meaning what I'm saying there. It's so ridiculous that I can't even believe it's not a bit. That I said you and your family are pawned out dupes who don't even understand how this is all working. And your answer was, he got a 21 gun salute. He's not a nobody.
Well,
it's just that easy to enslave you people, huh?
I guess. So
we just cut some fabric out. We hang a piece of metal off of it and we go like this 21 times and use all through that ritual and that tradition. Say, I made it. I'm here. I'm a real boy. Sorcery, mockery, spelling, black magic, mind and heart control, brainwashing, culting. You're totally able to see how I'm doing a cult here somehow with my audience, but can't see how you're so deep in it you can't even see it and know it's happening and buy into this crap. My daddy went up on the stage and they gave him a salute, official salute, and they handed him a paper and a little fabric and a medal. And that was the day he became a man and arrived to his corporate masters. He's not a nothing. You're beneath a nothing. A nothing could learn and adapt and get better. You're a mind and heart controlled, brainwashed nothing. That's even worse than a nothing.
How do you think my funeral is going to look?
A bunch of folks like you and your family, maybe 5 to 10 of your closest, non-closest family sitting around having nothing of actual legacy or honor to speak about you and what you've done, and pretending to themselves and each other that you were a good or great person when you're really an infidel, treasonous, traitor, statist, fascist slave. See, you should let me write your eulogy because we'd have a great time and everyone would get some truth. We'd finally serve God in the truth with what is. I'd say he was a poor, pathetic, lost soul, duped out, suggestible, and gullible, spent his whole time here doing and being little to nothing, serving nothing of any importance, and he died pretty much insignificant, with no legacy, leaving nothing to his non-family and friends in the way of any kind of value, principles, empowerment, inspiration, or good faith. That would be your eulogy if anyone was being honest. This is why you guys don't get that this nation is cursed, because all across this nation, some people woke up today and gave a fake eulogy and even lied while they were death worshiping, put a dead body out, death worshipped, lied in everybody's face, rewrote history, did it in front of God and a whole bunch of other people as witnesses in the house of God, supposedly. You guys wake up and go to sleep blaspheming. and wonder why this whole fucking place is completely cursed because of this crap you do all day, every day, pretending you're serving God while you serve yourself and your own interests and invoke God, making sure you're damned while you do it. Be one thing if you just did it. It's another thing to invoke God while you do it and then blaspheme and spit in everybody's face and deny the truth. So just keep doing it. Just keep doing it because I'm not involved in any of it. I don't go to funerals. I don't need to bury people. I don't need to play any of these games. I don't need anyone to do it with me.
All right, I'll just ask one more question on this subject then.
In the in the Vedantic system, in the Vedantic system, there's a word called sanskaras. That means it's like a scratch, like an impression. So you wouldn't want to waste his death because now it burns an impression and a scar into you that this is something significant. See, look how stuck you are because you watched them do that motion Paul did with the guns.
Mm-hmm.
Now you believe in it. It's burned into you. You got to empty that sanskara out of yourself because that's an impression.
I don't know what you're talking about, to be honest with you. I mean,
you're living through impressions. You're living in your identity. You have no idea what you're talking about yet or who you are.
Okay, bud. All right, sure.
Yeah, you're an empty vessel who's been filled with propaganda and you have no awareness of self or the dynamic, and that's why you can't speak on it accurately, nor can you solve the problems that we face.
I've offered
that's not an insult. That's not an insult. That's not an insult or a condemnation either. That's a description of a condition.
It's okay.
That's a description of a condition. We're not exchanging ideas. I'm talking truth based on what is. You're telling me all the crap somebody put inside of your beingness. You're not even aware of the people who put this crap in your beingness. I know the actual people who put this crap in your beingness that you're not even aware of is there and who did it.
But this is a personal relationship, so I don't see how you can even
There's
say
no
that.
personal relationship. You guys all say the same thing.
With my grandfather, or I didn't.
Oh yeah, you have a relationship, personal. Yeah, the mask and your mask, the mask you wear every day, the identity you hold that's not your true self, the culture you live in that's not based in truth. Yeah, you just have a personal relationship in the sense of person meaning mask wearers. You just act all day, every day, play games and lie, and then claim to know yourselves and each other. I think it's embarrassing, actually.
Okay, so
but see, that's what my understanding of what you're doing is. That's not what you meant. You meant like heartfelt, sentimental, eternal, sort of, sound and co-creative and inspiring and enlightening, and it's none of that.
But
I guarantee it's none of that.
They've been reincarnating together for many cycles playing the slave game. They're very close.
I know. So close they can't get out of each other's in their own way.
I won't even
get into the same dysfunctional self over and over again with the same nonsense that's been put in them by their masters.
I'm not going to even get into Trump or anything else. So I'll just ask one more question on this. But
you can get into whatever you want. I prefer that you do. My whole point of doing this broadcast and giving you the first 20 minutes, while I'm open to you being redeemable and showing truth and good faith, the whole point of me doing this was to show that you're adult and you're pretty much a cross-section of the average member of the public. And you're the reason why we're going deeper into slavery and genocide.
All right, well, let me continue.
While I and others have immense success and walk in faith and change the game on the ground and show what could be done, you're going to continue to do what you've always done and get what you've always got. And I'm going to have to pick up the pieces and redirect and alchemize and transmute and transform that like I always do.
Wait. He's running out of stamina. He might not have the energy left to ask his one question. I want to hear how stupid it is.
Right, so in light of my personal relationship with my grandfather when he was still here, you think it's not disrespectful for me not to honor him and not vote?
You're not getting it. He was not honorable. That's what you refuse to accept in your broken childlike mind. It's like talking to a child who goes, "Mommy and Daddy, we hear them go in the room every night, and there's a big box in there, and they make weird noises, and in the morning they bring out bags of pieces of meat and blood." And I go, "Mommy and Daddy are psychopaths. They're killing people in there." And you go, "Not my mommy and daddy, they're mine." And I go, "I don't know what to tell you, dude. You know, you're so dysfunctional and delusional, you can't apprehend reality for what it is. And when I tell it to you, you lock up and wall up and get reactive. Your grandfather was not honorable. You don't need to know about it for it to be true. That's the point here. None of you dumb or cowardly slaves need to know about truth for it to still be true and have an effect on you and the rest of your life. So your grandfather's not honorable. He didn't do anything that's able to be honored, at least as far as what you're admitting to. I suspect he's probably a deviant in his house as well with the woman he was with. I'm sure he's probably a liar, because if you lie in one place in your life or you're duped out and deceived, you tend to do it everywhere. So I would bet, despite your, like every other dunce all over this land who's going to say, my grandpappy was such an honorable, nice man. And I go, no, he was a coward, fascist, violent, deviant, lying, deceptive, duplicitous, two-faced, unloving, uncaring, unaware, fascist slave, if I didn't say fascist already. And it's going to be more likely that that's going to be true 9 out of 10 times than whatever the rest of you rose-colored glasses broken children want to believe. But you'll keep saying it. The same way on Germany right now, there's 10,000 children, even if they're in a 40-year-old's body, going, my father was a great man, as he was killing and lying and cheating and stealing and slaving and genociding and fascising. What's the difference between you and them? Nothing, except both sides think that they were right. Well, that's that. I'm concluding what I'm saying to be true as I'm trying to say it's different. It's not, because you'll both do exactly the same thing. My side was right. The other side was wrong. My grandfather's honorable, and I love him. You'll all do it. It doesn't matter what you're actually involved in, what you people have created, what the wages are and the consequences. You'll all choose to live in your own self-generated, biased, self-sucking delusion, where you get to support what you like and what it feels like and avoid reality and life on life's terms. That's the common denominator here. That's the common theme in this human race from the beginning of time. That's the story of the Christed being.
Dude, you need to do that German voice more. That was awesome.
Thank you. I do my best. I'm not exactly a consummate impressionist, but I think that I did it well enough for us to get the point here that everybody's in cognitive dissonance and confirmation bias, and everybody's claiming they're right and the other side's wrong when everyone's a little right and very wrong, because they can't understand themselves and how the world works and don't wish to. They rather just fight and argue with it when it's presented.
So anyway, my grandparents are probably like some of the most righteous people that I've ever known. And he put his blood, sweat, and tears and has vested interest in this country when he went and fought. And to me, I feel like I have to honor that and respect that. And for
I know what you feel like, but that's not reality. Again, you keep talking to me about what you feel, and you keep ignoring what it is. It's the same way as I was sitting in front of someone like you, and you said to me, I really feel like my woman loves me. And I go, she's sucking dick 10 times.
With the whole
I really feel like my woman loves me. I go, but she's tricking you out of your power position and embarrassing you and showing she doesn't care about you or respect you. But you got a feeling, and that's going to trump reality. And if I dare to tell you you're a simp trick mark, you're going to say I'm a bully. And that leaves us at an impasse.
I'm not saying anything. Hey, you're the only one calling people names around here.
I'm not calling anyone names. I'm describing your condition, which is self-evident and evidenced by your rhetoric and your experience. I didn't say you were a low-life piece of shit and that you're irredeemable and all the rest of this. I said you're a slave whose mind and heart controlled, and that's the first line of the Matrix. You're a slave, Neo.
But you are conflating this
I'm doing a service for you, and you're choosing to see it like I'm attacking you. If you don't want the truth, just don't come here. Stop coming here and asking for the truth, then arguing with nonsense, propaganda, and lies, and appealing to your feelers. It's just embarrassing to you. It gives me something to do and more content for the people who love it. but it doesn't bode well for you and your life and your future and your choices. How you don't see that and know that and get that? I
can live with that. I can live with that. That's right.
So, okay, so then live with it. Don't come here and ask me for the truth because you don't understand how anything works, and you're going to go deeper into disempowerment because of your lack of understanding, and then take the truth, shit on it, spit on it, and provide your predictable non-logic. I already know. I already told you for the 1,000th time. I know everything about you because I know me. I've dealt with many of you, so you're not anything new. All of your responses are predictable, and they are propaganda based or misinterpreted based on a skewed experience. You're not getting it. I had to do this with my father for a decade, and now I'm doing it with you. I have to do it with everyone who's in and of this world who will not seek the truth and be set free. And I don't know why you waste my and your time. I suspect that this is all just an elaborate gambit so you can walk away and say, look how mean Paulie Boy was again, and act like you're loving and Christed. Because that's what my father does. That's what most of you do. You get to walk away and say, Paulie bullied me and abused me again. I'm so put upon. Why won't he just love me? Why won't he accept and enable my ignorance and arrogance and projecting propaganda and foolishness? Why won't he just accept me the way I am? Ignorant, arrogant, presumptuous, foolish, because it's not good for you. I'd be a bad friend or a bad teacher or a bad content creator if I just ignored all this crap and accepted it.
Hold on. I'm just wondering why you couldn't respect my decision to honor him and actually vote in the system that is.
I'll say it again. It's almost like you're not listening or not capable of processing. I can't respect your decision because it's not respectable. You're honoring a man who's not honorable. That's evidence of your delusion and dysfunction. It's not a me problem.
Okay,
Good morning.
What's worth fighting for that's honorable?
The best part of slaving up is genocide in your cup. We need to take it back to like nostalgic ads from the 90s and 2000s that we all remember. You're using words that have meaning and you're ignoring the meaning for your feelings. That is the root of all dysfunction and slavery and addiction.
Listen, if what he did wasn't honorable, what is worth fighting for that is honorable, in your opinion?
You're presuming that you have to fight in order to be honorable. You just have to be unwavering in the truth, uphold the law, and exercise rights.
Like if somebody were to come into your family's house or your village and be directly attacking you, then you should defend yourself. Going off and fighting bankers' wars, not so much.
What about genocide?
Yeah.
Like, okay, let me give you an example. I'll help you out with your scenario. I'm not saying anyone should do this now or should have. But if they did, right, instead of them going over there to kill people who were funded to send the state of Israel to the Middle East at some point, it's all a move to a move to a move. How about if you bozos just never left and secured this place against enemies, foreign and domestic? Because while you were all sent over there, they were slaving this place up even more with the propaganda.
Donald Trump.
So imagine you're saying that, but it's not reality.
Hey, what was Grandma doing while Grandpa was over there?
You don't think Donald Trump is a Zionist shill? You don't think every politician in America is completely controlled by Israel and Zionist interests and AIPAC?
He can't figure it out. That Donnie goes over there with his mask on and his slack scene and then says, I got a special relationship with Israel and the UK. We know what the special relationship is. You're all working for centralized bankers and occultists. We got it.
Now you're conflating again. Israel was securing the borders, so
Donnie's a populist.
Again, you're conflating the two. You presume a border exists. They're doing New World Order and putting everyone into one world order while you're arguing about a border. Are you really this fucking retarded?
Well, you just said secure your homeland or whatever, right? That would be securing your border.
I just said that.
Yeah.
I said if they would have done that, and that doesn't necessarily mean build a wall so people can't leave. I don't know what one has to do with the other, and you also presume that both sides aren't in favor of bringing in illegal migrants. You're just listening to what one side is saying. They all want to bring them in so they can give them numbers and make them citizens and get more money for the banking system generated and printed to put everyone deeper in debt.
Donnie's a businessman. Donnie's a
God, you
businessman.
just don't get it. You just can't
do get
convince
it.
him that mommy and daddy are running drugs and doing human trafficking. It's his mommy and daddy. They would never do that.
Donnie's a businessman. He's a businessman.
I know. No, like Jay-Z. He ain't a businessman. He's a business man.
Business.
Yeah. Come on, bro. Get real.
Listen,
Don't you get how the mafia works? Don't you get how reality works? If he was really about it, Barron would have lost a couple fingers by now, at least.
Well,
don't you get it?
The Bush family didn't exist. If you do a little research, you'll find out
You
the Bush
just don't
family
get
was
it, and you're never
actually
gonna get it because you're gonna choose to not get it.
I think Paul is doing okay on his own. If you don't mind.
I am doing okay on my own. He's right. Everyone else, shut up. I don't need any help with this. I'm doing a great job on my own, and it's just muddying the waters. Get in where you fit in, but we don't need to talking over. It's like I'm already entertaining this more than I should because we knew where this was going. The same place it always goes, nowhere. And what does Freak learn? Nothing. And how does he change? In no way, because he's not willing to. How much responsibility and accountability is he going to take on? None. How much is he going to abdicate? All of it. Because it's easier to vote for a daddy and a master and claim you're winning and that you have a personal relationship with your slaved out grandfather and God and everyone and everything else when you're just in delusion and hallucination and cope. I'd rather you guys go on heroin. As an ex-heroin addict, I'd rather you just go on heroin. It's an actual coping mechanism. Doesn't work, but neither does your foolishness and mind control. Right? But I at least respect it more. Like if you just went on heroin and wrote songs like Kurt Cobain and then died, I respect that more. Like, hey, we're slaved out. I'm on heroin. Coping mechanism for my slavery. I wrote some good tunes talking about truth, and now I'm gone. This coping mechanism is even worse and more embarrassing, and you're even more addicted to it. And it takes even more of your soul.
Have you ever listened to Rammstein?
Just go on heroin. That's the new campaign 2024. If you're going to be a slaved out freak who wants to be a collectivist, communist, dope, then just go all the way on dope, shoot heroin. You might be able to look into the void in the darkness and reconcile on some level. And then you can just die and be less embarrassing and undignified.
I pretty much hate communists, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, you are one. That's what you're not getting. You hate what you think they are because of what you've been told, but you're not realizing you are one, and that makes sense because you subconsciously hate yourself. Right? You're not aware of it consciously, but subconsciously, you're a communist and collectivist because you pay taxes, they redistribute your wealth, and you vote for a master in a corporation. That is a communist collectivist.
All right, so as far as the status quo as what we have right now in terms of, quote unquote, the system.
There you go. You're even qualifying it right now. Okay, I am a collectivist communist, but I hate the qualified version of what they tell me it is in the communism.
You gotta let me ask the question though.
There's no question.
Are you against the system or are you for the status quo right now?
Again, the system is created theoretically, conceptually, and functionally to uphold rights and the law. It's not doing that by and large because most of you are communist, collectivist, slaved out freaks who don't know the law, won't uphold it if you did because you're cowardly, and don't know what your rights are and aren't. You also don't know what a republic is while you claim to be a Republican. You're a Republicant.
So do you think the system needs what do you think the system
You're
needs?
doing it again. You didn't listen. Try again. The system doesn't need anything. You and the other mind and heart controlled cowards need an upgrade, a firmware update. You need to stop being cowards and become great again, presuming you ever were in your lineage. And based on what you tell me about your grandfather, it hasn't happened yet.
This guy's a slave. That's what he was born. That's why he was put on this earth.
That's why most of these folks are put on the earth to be slaughtered like cattle.
We need people like this. Come wash my dishes.
Come wash my dishes. Whoever this guy is funny already. I like him. I like the mask with the happy face and the tears.
Thank you. I'm crying and I'm laughing.
Right. It's the two faces of comedy, the divine tragic comedy. Right?
You get it.
Can we facilitate?
Oh, I get it. I get it so much it put me on heroin at one point when I didn't see the bigger picture.
Can we facilitate their accommodations and getting DeFreak over there to help him out with his dishes? I mean, that might be the best thing we can do for him tonight.
I don't think he's going to elect to do that. I think
I'll
he's
give
going to
you
have
my
to get
cash
put in a
app.
FEMA camp first before that happens.
I'll give you my
He'll
cash
have
app.
to be
I mean, if
forced.
that's what you're asking. But anyway,
You know,
okay,
the
so
Bush
you
family,
want
the
to move on to
Bush
the next
family is
thing,
just
or you're
to
done?
wrap that circuit. You know, the Bush family isn't real. They were called the Scherf family over in Germany, and a little bit of investigation would uncover that. And then they came over here, just like Paul said, and they took the OSJ and turned it into the CIA. These are all the same people doing all the same things to all you stupid slaves who want to keep your blinders on.
Right.
And
I've
even though
already
you just-
proved individually as one guy with one other woman next to me that we can uphold the law and exercise our rights and move through court, speaking the word of God and the truth, and come out the other side in faith. I've proven that. Where are the rest of you doing it now? You can't even deny that I did the hard part for everyone. I had no guarantees. I had no reference for it. I literally went into what for me was uncharted land, got the result, brought it back over and over again, and still, you bitch-ass motherfuckers are not doing it. I can't lead you, because even when I go off in the wilderness and lead and blaze the trail and walk it back and tell you this is the way, it's obvious, here's the result, you won't fucking walk it because you're a coward in your heart. So how could this change? How could this become great again?
I have another question after the other one, if you don't
I
mind.
did what Donnie, your daddy, wouldn't and couldn't because he has too much to lose. That's what they don't get at this point. I'm not even going to get into numbers because I don't talk about it. I put myself in a position to where I could go to the box at any point and not lose anything and come out right where I left off. So you don't know what I have because I don't tell nobody specifically, and I ain't upgrading from here because I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to have to rent. I want to have a trailer that I could have looked after while I'm gone or closed up and sealed up and come back to in 4 years if I had to, because I may have to sit down at some point doing this real work. Nothing's guaranteed. And I don't want to cry from a jail cell like DeCastro and say, everyone save me and help me. If I needed to, I would. The point is I'm going to make a life where I have to call on that as least as possible, hopefully never. Right? That's how you maintain your integrity and credibility. So the point is, many of you are living beyond your means. You're way too comfortable. You got way too many pretty and nice things, and you're not doing what the fuck is true and what's right. And you won't because you're too afraid about losing all that crap that you think you have. What do you have if you don't have your principles and values? Nothing. A bunch of trinkets, a bunch of comfortable hoes.
You don't have to. Don't answer this if you don't want. You don't happen to be anywhere like near Maricopa, do you?
I don't. I know of that place, but I'm not quite sure. I don't believe so.
All right, just wondering.
Why you want to go hang out with David Rockefeller Jr.?
What? David Rockefeller?
You want to go hang out with David Rockefeller Jr.?
No.
Why do you ask?
You might learn a thing or two.
Maybe. Does he want to give me some oil wells somewhere?
Why do you ask?
Anyway, because I'm right around there, and if you're looking to get established in Arizona or whatever, I've been here since '93.
What does that mean, established on Arizona? What makes you think that I'm not established across this nation with the people who matter?
I don't know that, but I'm just saying if that's
right. It's another presumption. Dude, I have people reaching out to me from across this nation. I'm not bragging. I'm blessed, but it's only because they honor me for doing something honorable that your grandpappy hadn't yet and probably will never be able to because he's in the ground now. Point is, I got folks who tell me, come here, come there. We'll give you a car. We'll give you this. We'll give you that. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not wanting and desperate and needy, and I'm not looking to use this audience or this community. I'm looking to lead, grow in myself, become better, do better, leave some legacy here, and live the rest of my life somewhat in peace, whether that's in a box in the ground or in a box above ground, if necessary.
Hey, right? I've got McDemesis in my Restream, and he wants a link. Should I?
Absolutely. You can give him all the link. I'm encouraging all the cowards who are going to sit over there while they know the chat is right here so that I can't get to them by timing them out and they can play their games in that box. I encourage all the folks with issues about me and feelings about me and to attempt a resolution and reconciliation. Don't play the game that, oh, you're not going to give me the chance to have power over you. That's your ego. If I'm a piece of shit and I have this platform that's open and you come here to reconcile and resolve and you're making sense and doing what's right and I just go off on you, That's great for you and others. That exposes me. No, don't play the games.
I never said you're a piece of shit. I never said anything like that.
I'm saying they say that. I'm not saying nothing about you. You have been rather accepting of my critique and criticism. I don't feel any way about that. I would prefer if you would just try to look at what I'm saying, find where it's true, dispute where it's not, and if it is true, change yourself so we can really bond and have mutual respect. I don't need to have anyone come here and feel less than. If you put yourself beneath me and the truth, I will call it out. Like the intro said, I'm not afraid anymore of hurting anybody. All my life, I've attempted to at times pull punches and people please or just hold my tongue. I'm done now if you haven't noticed. So I can do that. I can be a very nice, kind, polite, ethical being who goes along to get along, and I'm very peaceful at times. And then there's certain times in certain venues, I'm not pulling punches. I'm not holding my tongue. I don't think anyone's better off for it. That's not how I learned. That's not how I've become better. Quite the opposite. The trigger's where the work is done. The darkness is where the work is done. The weakness is where the strength comes. The crack is where the light enters.
Hey, there was a situation that you were in not so long ago where you were in a small town and you ended up kind of causing a little bit of turmoil at this place. It ended up being a place where they were administering vaccinations, and eventually,
yeah, that's where I was living at the time.
I think eventually they gave you.
Did you get out of your camper?
See, MC Nemesis, this is what I mean. You just said yesterday on the other broadcast that I mod got everyone, that you and others don't come over here because I just throw people out and I'm abusive. But your first word coming in here is antagonistic and attempting to make me look and feel. It's not a genuine question. You're not asking me if I actually. You think I'm as dumb as you are? You think I can't read the tone and know the context? What would you asking me if that we're starting off right where you left off, and this is why you get the treatment you get? Stop blaming others, perpetual victim. How does me leaving my camper or not? Obviously, I left the camper if I was out in town. No, are you that retarded? You can't do deductive reasoning?
No, I'm talking about upgrading it. Did you ever get out of it?
I don't know what that means. I'm in it right now. What are you talking about? And I don't know why everyone keeps saying there's no indoor plumbing. Are they not aware? Did they not watch me play the video? Notice you just got put in the back and try to figure out why? Because you guys just say shit. There is indoor plumbing in here. It has everything a house has. So I don't know why everyone keeps saying that. Like you guys like to sit around and imagine things.
I don't know. What's the problem?
I don't know. What's the problem?
Well, you're sitting there with a scowl on your face and just.
So now you're like my grandmother. Now you're going to sit here and you're going to evaluate my facial expression.
I have eyes to see?
I don't think you do have eyes to see. I think you have eyes that see what you choose to see.
I can feel your vibrations.
You can feel my vibration? Well, that's cute. Well, what are you getting from that?
I'm saying you're combative, you're angry, you're rude, you're obsessive. All these things, Paul.
Why are you laughing while you're saying that? Is it why are you laughing while you're saying that? Is it because you're trying to
white gorilla because you
is it because you're trying to influence other people's opinions and it's a power control move and you're laughing as you deliver the
like a fucking nigger?
Well, there you go. That's insightful. That's co-creative. That's functional.
I'm from
Why do I act like a nigger?
You don't even know what that word
That's
means.
you. That's you again. A nigger is an ignorant slave. That's you.
We made the word.
There's no color to the word nigger. That's you. You're a slave because you vote for Donnie. You already said that you do. This is why you get put in the back again. Number 2. Now you ran from the back, got everything you wanted. Then you'll go over and victim and say you had no idea why it happened. You're the only nigger I see here. Ignorant,
in every race.
Foolish,
niggers
whore.
come in every race.
Right. Ignorant, foolish, poor, slaved out, voting for a daddy. That's you. And there you go, projecting it that it's me. How am I acting like that and being that? Exactly. I'm willing to speak right to the facts, right to the truth, right to who and what we all are. That's what you just did again and do everywhere. It's amazing how these arrogant down south white hick rednecks don't realize that everything they try to project on the people they see as inferior applies to them the majority of the time. Another coward, too, because he came in here disingenuous and then ran. Just can't talk
really
about who and what he is and what's going on while he's crying on Jack yesterday. My hometown was flooded and swept away. What's everyone gonna do to me? What's everyone gonna do for me? Yeah, just like the Negroes in Katrina, you sound like. But when no one comes for you and helps you, oh, it's a tragedy. It's the worst thing ever. There's that privilege of yours and many others. Fascinating.
I do like a Tennessee accent on a woman.
Put me in, Miguel Lopez. We're still waiting. We're 3 days in. Remember you were going to punch me in my faggot face, as you called it?
Or me.
Still waiting for you to click the link, big boy. You were going to be up here any minute 2 days ago. Another coward, another loser, another clown, another fraud, another un-American swine, another nameless, faceless number in the system that'll never go anywhere and never do anything worthy of looking at and speaking about. What a shame.
Back to that kind of secret vaccination place that you were at.
Oh, I hope they bring more of it. I hope they spray yous all down. Get yous all the fuck up out of here. You're a waste of life anyway. You're demonic and deviant. You don't serve truth. Get yous all the fuck up out of here.
It's called slave
Hey,
away.
I'm ready. You know me. I want Jesus right now.
Oh, I know. You love it. You'll love it. You love sucking that devil's dick down to the last minute of your pathetic life. Take it all, baby.
Tradition.
Drill, baby, drill.
Drill, baby, drill.
Yeah. Take that devil's dick deep inside you, man. Drill, baby, drill. Take it.
It's a family tradition at this point. He's gotta. Grandpa did it and Daddy did it and
drill, baby, drill. Never Taylor was a chill. So you ended up getting a ticket, I think, that day, or to go to court or something. Whatever came of that, like nothing or
nothing. I didn't even go.
I was just
I went one time, told him I won't be back. This is ridiculous. You have no status and standing. You've not achieved arraignment in jurisdiction. You have nobody on the other side to face as an accuser. I won't be back. And I didn't go back.
Yeah. Did you know that? When you went there, did you know what they were doing there?
I had no idea. All they said to me was, "You want to come in and get a vaccine?" I said, "No, but now you invited me in, so I'm coming in to investigate." And that's exactly what I did.
It was kind
Did you mask
weird.
and vax, freaky man?
No.
No.
But,
You didn't get any vaxes?
No.
Well, dude, you're illegal. You're unsafe. How dare you? Something should be done
Grandma,
about
what
you.
about Grandma?
You're a regular soft-sit terrorist. Look at you, not listening to what the legitimate government tells you to do and be for safety. How dare you?
That right there proves that the Trump tards are not the cultists. The Bidenites are, because
No, they are. They're just to a lesser degree.
Trump didn't mandate anything. Biden did, and the Trump tards didn't listen to Trump when he said to go get the vax. We didn't. We have our own minds. We could think on our own.
So what's your sob-sit thing? You said you wanted to do the sob-sit thing. What's that to you?
Yeah. Okay, Paul. So I've been seeing a lot more of these videos on YouTube and stuff where the like judges and the police and these judges are starting to basically dismiss a lot of this
Quiet
stuff.
down. We're done with you. Tony Coerlos is here. Accent on the Coerlos. Accent on the Coer. Tony Coerlos, how are you, sir? Hello?
God bless. I gotta go. Y'all are chilling.
Hello. No, why did he leave? Hey, no, I'm talking about this guy. This guy's Tony Coerlos. Why did the guy with the mask leave? Get back here. I didn't even interact with you yet. Why did I take so long to interact with him? Get back here, mask guy. I want to interact with you and see what you're about.
Probably
These guys, they come in here, they sit there, they don't say nothing, and they just go by. You know, what is that?
Yeah,
God damn you, Tony Coerlos. You're always doing something. What was that? Did you just climax?
Hey! I got
He was right at the
Yeah, you're a special girl, aren't you?
Paul,
He was
You're
right
a
on
big
top.
girl, aren't you?
Hey, Paul.
He was
Hey,
You're a
edging.
Pantene broad, aren't you?
He's been
Paul?
edging for the last 20 minutes.
He's like,
Lovely.
what was that? You're a Garnier
Paul,
Fructis hoe, aren't
I'm
you?
so sorry for saying.
Remember that one back in the day? We need that commercial where the
Hey,
broad's
Paul?
rubbing that shit in her head and she's orgasming in the
Paul?
fucking.
I just
I
want to
hear
say
you,
something.
man. What do you need from me? What do you want from me?
I want to
Garnier?
apologize. I want to
You want
apologize.
to apologize for what? Being
For
extremely
saying-
effeminate? It's not your fault. Your mother and father did that. This
Ejaculating
culture
upon
did that.
entry.
Yeah.
No, I am so sorry for saying Clive Owen. Like last September, right?
What?
I'm so sorry for saying.
All right, man. Don't go through life sorry. You didn't do nothing wrong to me. I don't accept it. I'll accept your
thank you for
apology if it makes you
unblocking
feel
me.
better, but it wasn't necessary.
Hey.
Oh, sorry about that. Well, thank you for unblocking me.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, you know, I unblocked all the other miscreants, and you were just being annoying and kind of effeminate. But you know,
We have a lovely
it's a normal thing.
we can set you up with if you.
But I am so sorry.
You down for dance party or what?
Yeah, I went to the dance party
With
back on
Steven?
the 28th of September.
Oh.
Yeah, but I'm saying, are you down for dance party right now? Like we kick things up, we get a little freaky and wild, or what?
Yeah, no.
I mean, yeah, no. What is it like? Wink, wink. Yeah, no.
That's his dance move. Yeah,
I don't know,
no.
because I love Viggo Mortensen.
Oh, I get what you're doing. You're playing hard to get.
Okay.
But you really want it. I know you want it because you're like, yes, no. I'm pretty good at this.
It's kind of like.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Kind of like Liliana yesterday.
Wait, what about the squirrel and the hedgehog?
I can't hear you.
What about the
About to
squirrel
drop
and the
here.
hedgehog?
Oh, there it goes.
I'm sorry, sir.
Come on, Tony.
Yo!
Hey.
Hey! Hey, yo, 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 yo.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Come on, Tony. Let's see what you got, boy.
Yo.
Come on, do what you normally do, where you do the most effeminate dance ever. All right, he's not into it.
Sorry, sir.
Not into it. Not into it. All right, forget it. You're not into it. I can see you're not into it. Thumbs down. All right, he ran. Yeah, he's got this dance he does that you could swear you'd catch HIV from.
Just
Something to
looking at
behold.
it.
Yeah, just looking at it. You go get a blood test. You go get a T cell test. All right. I'm gonna leave that there. He crashed out on me for braiding my hair. You trying to be black in quotes.
Hey, come on, bro. They ain't even that serious, bro. What you doing? Hey, my boy. Hey, what you think, my boy?
Damn, your shit look nice, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You didn't know I had it?
No,
Stop lying, bro.
Bald head for real.
Huh?
I thought you was bald. Turn around.
Come on, bro. Don't do that.
You don't even touch the back of your neck.
Don't do that. Don't you do that, bro.
You don't even touch the back of your neck.
Come on.
What's it shorter than his?
Very, very sad.
With the braids.
Yeah?
Look at you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's how you feeling?
Yeah.
Better dog. What?
The Black Pack of Woods.
Black Pack of Woods?
Who you done let braid your hair?
My daddy's son.
I mean the Black Pack of Throwbacks.
Let me talk to him. Can I talk to him?
Hey, you don't know who on my phone.
Let me talk to Ice.
Mook, I think you know this you.
Hey, yo, Ice. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I don't know you, but this braids got me going crazy.
Boy, give me my phone.
FaceTime. You ain't gonna
You know him.
Look, watch this.
FaceTime. This his store.
Let me see.
This, you know him, see him every morning.
Can't see your face. Damn. Yo, ugly, musty, dusty ass. Hey, what you
not
think?
Not too much on my man. Give me my phone.
Hey, Ice. Hey, Ice.
Yeah, Ice. Stop disclosing what I got him saved under. Get
What you need?
He said yo Drake looking ass. For shopping. That's the hell of it.
What's your name?
Oh, Dominique.
Dominique. Dominique. That's gonna be $1.25.
Let me get this.
Hey, Dominique.
Yo.
The 3 lollipops gonna be $1.
Oh man, your braid.
My braids. What you need?
All right, this one's boring. Someone just emailed me. I'm gonna read it. It's kind of weird. Hey, Paul. It's the real David Michael. I choose to go to you because I already know you'd help me out. I want to join the Illuminati. How does this work exactly? Can I get $20 million? Maybe you can point me in the right direction. No, I can't because unless I'm unaware of it and it happened, I've never joined the Illuminati. So how I could help you do something I haven't helped myself do yet is beyond me. Sean Astin, is that you?
Yes.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, from Harrison Bergeron.
Well, of course, Harrison Bergeron. Everyone knows that. What do we owe this honor? What are you here for? What brings you here?
Do you guys love watching that movie from Showtime?
What now?
Do you guys love Harrison Bergeron, like the movie from Showtime?
Yeah, it's fucking great, man. We're all into that.
Like, is it rated R?
Wait a second. You sound kind of like that little effeminate boy who doesn't have a father, who's been raised by his auntie.
I'm sounding like the real Sean Astin.
No.
I don't know.
Do you like Sean Astin?
My Emperor Jew says that's not true.
You're failing.
What was that? What was that laugh for?
Sean Astin.
He just keeps saying Sean Astin. That doesn't make it real.
Pretty sure I figured out Miguel's message. That was really for Tony.
All right, where the fuck is Auntie, man? Go get Auntie. I'm gonna bang this broad, and then I'm gonna put you on punishment.
She's fine.
No, I'm gonna fuck Auntie. I told you already many times. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna impregnate Auntie, and I'm gonna raise you a stepbrother to get you right, and I'm gonna put you on punishment.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Don't say no. I'm telling you, yeah.
Got the icon.
I'm coming over there. I'm banging Auntie. I'm gonna be your stepdaddy, and I'm putting you on punishment for the night. Why are you laughing at that? It seems like he wants that.
Is this like Mel Gibson, like Braveheart, or is this Mel Gibson Apocalyptica?
Dude, he kind of looks like Sean Astin and Harrison Bergeron.
Is that Mel Gibson Cowl?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's
Seriously, go get Auntie. I gotta have a word with her.
I don't know because
Go get Auntie. I gotta have a word with her. You've been bad.
Say in Australian.
Go get Auntie.
She's
You've been bad.
fine.
Go get her. I need to talk to her.
She's not here. I'll be talking to you.
All right, I'm calling her phone. I got her number here. Oh yeah. You better run. You cannot run the two-way, boy. Getting right on the phone with Auntie. He thinks he's gonna run and now he's gonna be safe from it. It's not happening. Hello, Auntie? Yeah, it's me. Yeah, Paul. Yeah, from the broadcast. Your effeminate nephew. It's on there from time to time. Yeah, it's me. Yeah. Yeah, the guy who's slightly overweight. Yeah, that's me. Yeah. Yeah, the guy who's always in a seated position. Yeah, can't stand up. Yeah, that's me. You got to get this kid together over there, right? Seriously, Auntie. I don't want to have to tell you again. All right, I know the whole father thing. I feel bad for the kid and everything, but it's not working out. It's constantly swooning over young adolescent males, pretending to be them. It's kind of weird, kind of creepy. All right, Auntie, get on it. Seriously. I don't want to have to call again. Trying to help out. All right, yeah, and put some of those cookies in a bed. Hold on, one of my retards is in the background. Yeah, that broadcast. Yeah, I know. It's kind of ridiculous, but whatever. Pays the bills, non-bills. Put a couple of those cookies in the bag for me, Auntie. I'll be over this weekend for you know what. All right, I'll see you later. What are you saying, freak? I'm on the phone with Auntie, man, and you're in the background on the speaker. The fuck is your problem?
Right. Sounded like a communist to me, but speaking of cookies, I don't think I don't think Kamala
Fake
Harris
news.
could sell a box of Girl Scout cookies at full retail price. That's how bad it is.
Anyone know what that means? Anyone laughing at that? Finding that funny, interesting, anything? Press 1 in the chat. Press 0 in the chat if you got absolutely nothing from that. If you got absolutely nothing from that, it wasn't funny, it wasn't interesting, it wasn't informative, just go ahead and press 0. And if you got anything from that, go ahead and throw a 1 in.
You know what's sad is...
Freak, I have a question for you. Even though you've displayed a
All
total
right.
lack of wisdom or knowledge,
Back
I'm
to
wondering about your opinion about the Van Allen belt.
0, 0, 0, 0, multiple zeros, another 0. Harold with a 0,
These
0
slaves
spelled
voted for
out, not even the
Kamala.
number, spelled out completely. That really got nothing there. 0, 0. Auntie got the picante. That's true. Still 0 and 0. Okay. I just want to make sure it wasn't me.
They're all
It's
voting
official.
for Kamala.
It's official.
Right. That's the new thing now. That's all you Trump tards have to do in life to cope. It's just anyone who doesn't agree with me and my idiocy must be a Kamala voter. That's how you'll get through the next couple years. It'll work. It'll work
What's
for a
your
while.
opinion on the Van Allen belts, Freak?
I don't know
It
what
came
that
up.
is.
Well,
I'll
last
brought him
time
up.
he blew Van Allen, it was hard to get the belt off.
Wait. What was the bit with like Alan Shepard when he said that the Van Allen belts weren't a problem when they went in their tin can because nobody had discovered them yet? So what's it?
Yeah, Van Allen only half black.
You know, because when their Mercury or Apollo mission went, they hadn't discovered the Van Allen belts yet, so they were able to go right,
Right.
through them. Yeah, they were able to go right through them in their little tin can because they weren't discovered yet, so they weren't a problem.
All right, let's go Fleischer, man. I'm going to wrap up early. Judge Fleischer can't believe the insane charges this slave has. So let's go to that. Little gavel gazing. Why not? If you're not in.
Good morning, Mr. Joyal. So you're charged with evading arrest or detention. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, Judge. On September 30th, 2024, officers were dispatched to a weapons disturbance call in Harris County, Texas. The caller advised that he observed a group of juveniles with a handgun after walking into a Texaco gas station. The caller asked the defendant if he had a gun, to which the defendant stated yes, and that he had it for protection. The officer observed the group walking away from the gas station and activated his lights and sirens. The defendant began to evade upon seeing the officer. The officer had prior interactions with the defendant and knew him by sight and name. The officer later was able to locate the defendant at his residence.
So you said that he goes into a gas at Texaco.
So, Your Honor, the complainant was walking into Texaco and observed the defendant with another group of juveniles outside the gas station with a handgun. And then
Okay, so who has a handgun?
the handgun is with the defendant. And the defendant,
He has a handgun?
yes, the defendant said he had that for his protection.
Read it again.
Yes, Your Honor.
I must be confused. Read, please.
Yes, Your Honor. The officer was dispatched to a weapons disturbance call in Harris County, Texas. The caller advised that he observed a group of juveniles with a handgun after the complainant walked into a Texaco gas station.
This is an unknown caller.
Yes, it is the
saying
caller.
that, hey, I saw a gun here.
I saw a gun with a group of juveniles. And the caller asked the defendant if the defendant had a gun, to which the defendant stated yes, that he had it for protection. And then the officer observed the group of juveniles walking away from the gas station and activated his lights and sirens. And the
That's
defendant.
when they all like
That's when they
scam.
Yes, Your Honor.
You were on bond for 3 felony cases. I have to imagine that one of the conditions that you're on bond for is no weapons. And now you've picked up another case.
So,
Stop, don't sing. Mr. Joyal, I'm gonna find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. What time of day or night was this?
Your Honor, let me check the office report. Your Honor, it appears to be at, I apologize, I don't know military time, but 13:26 hours.
It's 1 in the afternoon.
1 in the afternoon, Your Honor.
So he's got the 3 felony cases upstairs. They're all no weapons as well. You need to understand that by picking up this case, it's very possible that they revoke your felony bonds and raise them. And if that happens, 3 felony warrants are going to issue for you. So you need to get with your lawyer extremely quick. No, don't. But I am ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to be in possession of weapons. And I'm also ordering you not to use or consume any alcohol or dope. And I'm going to drug test you today because I want to know what, if anything, is in your system. You're to come right back and then we'll talk about your lawyer situation. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm going to have you take a seat over there. We'll send you for a drug test. You must come right back. Okay.
Quesadillas.
Santian? Get your sister. Get your sister. Hey, Joseph Santian. Mr. Santian, you're charged with possession of marijuana. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On September 30th, 2024, the officer was conducting a routine traffic patrol, and when he observed the defendant's vehicle with no front license plate, the officer initiated a traffic stop as the car was pulling over, and an NCIC, TCIC return on the vehicle showed the vehicle to have an expired registration from March 2024. The search also showed insurance to be unconfirmed. The officer made contact with the defendant, the driver of the vehicle, who advised he did not have insurance on the vehicle and that his driver's license was expired. The defendant was then asked to step out of the vehicle, and the officer asked if he had any drugs in the vehicle, and the defendant stated in the center console. The defendant was then detained. During the inventory search of the vehicle, the officer observed 3 joints in the center console. Using a digital scale, the marijuana was observed to be 2.8 grams. The defendant also had 4 outstanding Class C misdemeanor warrants out of Harris County.
Is that the only thing that they found in the glove box was the dope? Was it
Yes.
marijuana? Okay. Mr. Santian, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Do you have a Texas driver license?
Not a valid driver license, sir.
You're not allowed to drive. I'm making that a condition of your bond now. You will be signing with me today a promise that you're not going to drive. I don't care what your excuse is. I don't care if someone has to go to the hospital. There's a burning building and you have to save 50 people. I don't care. You drive, you will do a substantial amount of time in jail. I can have a contempt hearing, hold you in contempt, slap you with 180 days every single time you drive. Do you understand? If you want to drive, go get a license, get liability insurance, and then I will happily take this thing off. But if I find that you drive, I'm telling you now, I'm going to light you up. We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I'm going to have you come over here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. Hold on. After that, I'll get you to Victoria to sign a reset, and then we'll get you out of here. When you come back, please have a lawyer, sir. All right. UE, or would you prefer a cause number?
No.
Did I say it right?
Thank
On
you.
Lucy? Sir, you're charged with criminal trespass. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. Looks like your case is extremely old. It's 714 days old, sir.
All right, let's interact with Sam. Oh, it's Tony being a pain in the ass. All right, forget it.
They've given you multiple PR bonds. I guess we should be happy that you made it to court. Okay. Please.
Yes, Judge. On October 25th of 2022, HPD officers conducted a trespass investigation at the Icon gas station located at 7997 West Airport Boulevard in Harris County, Texas. Officers advised that the location has an active trespass affidavit in effect. Officers advised that they observed the defendant standing on the property next to a posted no trespass sign. Officers advised that they also made contact with the complainant, an employee of the gas station, who advised the defendant was trespassing at the location.
Had he been previously warned not to be there? Or was it just a no trespassing sign and he just goes there for the first time? Sure, take your time.
So, Judge, it's the defendant and multiple other males. There's a active trespass affidavit on file. They approach this defendant. They find marijuana on him after they detain him. They ask him multiple times if he would be willing to participate in the marijuana diversion program. He refused several times. But I don't see anything.
No priors?
I don't see anything about the complainant.
So, look, when you show up to court, good things happen. I'm going to find no probable cause in your case now. But I want you to understand, you are now on notice. You can't go back to this gas station. Stop. You can't go there anymore. If you go there again, they're going to arrest you for criminal trespass. I'm finding no probable cause now because I don't see that the prior warning was issued. But I am issuing the warning to you now. If you go back there today, tomorrow, next week, next year, they're going to arrest you for trespass.
Just get caught. Just get caught even though he trespassed.
Mr. Onwusi, listen, it's not a discussion. They have the right to tell you they don't want you there, and they don't want you there. Find another place to go to. Now I'm going to find no probable cause. You're free to go, okay?
And I'm following dismissal now, Judge.
All right, man, take care. And show up to court. Show up to court. I hope so. How's jail?
Not very good.
Good. That makes me happy. You know, what I find at least, the worse of an experience you have, the higher likelihood you have of actually, when you get out into the free world, of thinking about consequence, because that's what we want everybody to do. Think before you act, think before you speak, because you never know when it's your last time. All I know now is that you're wanted out of another state. You're wanted out of the state of Arizona, specifically Maricopa County, for manslaughter, 2 counts of aggravated assault and endangerment. Day.
Yes, Judge.
Tell me about Mr.
That's all I have so far. I do show a Georgia state ID, which I didn't see at first, but I don't see any history. Originally, I believe this is only offense, but because of the severity of the offense and with the warrant stating that while there is a $150,000 bond, is that they're requesting no bond until he's in front of a magistrate within their state. And so because of the severity of the offense and the risk of flight, is that state requests no bond for this defendant.
Is this a 2B?
This is a 2B, Judge. It was issued out on September 25th, 2024.
Okay. And the bond over there is at 150,000.
150, but they will not permit it to be honored until he goes in front of a magistrate within their court.
Okay. Do you know what the manslaughter is about?
No, I don't have the probable cause affidavit, but if you're looking for specifics, I can request it from their PA's office, but I don't have it at this time. I just know that the charges are valid.
Do you have anything that you'd like to add?
Yes, Judge. Mr. Campbell actually hired an attorney, is known about the investigation, so this was not an instance where he's trying to run. The attorney told him they could take a family vacation. So he was arrested at a connecting flight in Houston with his wife and 3 children. So he wasn't trying to run. He was going on a family vacation. His attorney there told him,
We were on the way to
the family. He doesn't live in Houston.
Where are you going?
So essentially, he gets arrested in the connecting flight process. He's not from Houston. He is ready, willing, and able to go back to Arizona. He's got his attorney set up there. If he gets out, it's not like he's legitimately gonna stay at a hotel and then the next day get on like a bus, because we talked about the flight problem. And he has a vested interest going back. He's 41 years old. I think he has a license case from like 15 years ago, nothing else. Wife, 3 kids in Arizona. He's got 2 prior children in Georgia, but he has like a family life and a business in Arizona, lives there. So he absolutely wants to get back to Arizona. And with that in mind, we would be requesting a bond here so that he can just go back and turn himself in.
No, Mr. Campbell, I really value my city, and I want to protect everybody I can for as long as I can, because the last thing I want is more death, more destruction, and you're wanted for something where there's a dead body.
Oh, sorry, Judge. It just pulled up just now. So Trey is correct. There was a suspended license, but he also had a prior hit and run and failure to stop and return to scene, which seems aligned with the manslaughter and 2 accidents with the vehicle and the
Is that
driver.
with this case or another
No,
case?
sorry, Judge. This is back in Georgia. So after the license suspension, there are 2 cycles. Hit and run, failure to return to scene. There's also DWI back in 2014.
Continues to happen.
I don't know what happened to that one though. It just.
You want me to set you a bond? Really?
Yeah. I had to run the state ID when it popped up on the other side.
Yes, absolutely.
Sir, those cases were like thrown out. I didn't. Whatever he has there, the DWI. I never had a DUI. And with the hit and run business, that wasn't it.
How do I know that? Am I supposed to take your word for it?
For that thing, my car was stolen, sir. And then they assumed that it's like how here they're assuming that I'm trying to run from.
No. No one's assuming that you're running. No one's assuming that you're running. All we know is that you are wanted out of Arizona, where there's 2 aggravated assaults and there's a manslaughter. So there's a dead body, right? And you also have priors out of another state where there's alleged DWIs and you running from the scene. So my problem is that I have no idea what the circumstances of the manslaughter are. How do I know you didn't shoot someone? How do I know you didn't run someone over in a car at a parade? And so it would be really just dangerous for me to really give you a bond and just let you go when I don't know how dangerous you are. Do you know what I mean? That's just, it's logic. As much as I'd like to get you back to Arizona as quick as possible, Mr. Campbell, you scare me. How soon can we get Arizona to come pick him up?
I don't know, Your Honor. I mean, well, for him, because he originally waived the magistrate, I know they've already.
He's waived.
Yes, I believe he waived 2 days ago when he went to.
Great.
Yes, so I believe the notice was already sent out.
Typically, the way it works is once you waive, we give that jurisdiction 2 weeks to come get you. Now, sometimes there are circumstances that they might want an extension for a day or 2 at the max 3, but by and large, they're pretty good at getting that jurisdiction to come get you within the next 2 weeks. And then we give you a free ride back to Arizona where you can answer to those charges. Now, like he said, they're willing to set you a bond. Now, it's going to be a high bond, but you got to get there first. And me, I just don't feel comfortable giving you a bond. I don't know you. I know you're telling me it's little bunnies jumping in the woods, but I really just don't know you. All I know is that there's a trail of destruction, and I don't want any more. That's it. Do you understand? Okay. So, I'm sorry, Shreya. I can't.
No worries. I just want to make sure there's nothing else you want the judge to know about bond before we discuss issues.
Now, if you're able to post bond, if you're able to get your family to post a bond in Arizona, then they can release this hold and then we'll let you out. But I don't know if that's going to happen, right? Arizona wants you there before they're going to set you bond, is what they've said. So, but you know, you never know until you try. The worst they can say is no. You have a lawyer, perhaps he can go get you a bond there. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck, Mr. King.
All right, I'm going to leave it right there. Final questions, comments, concerns. If you got them, the link is down there. Feel free. I'll give you a couple moments. If not, I'm going to call it. We'll be back tomorrow at some point.
Yeah, because of the whole Queerlo thing, we never got to hear Freak's take on
Hi,
Subset.
I'm Sam Worthington.
No. What's your take on Subset, Freak? You never got to say it because of Queerlo over here.
Hi, I'm Sam Worthington from Pros and XComs.
You know, I don't know that much about it, except that I don't think it's a good idea for someone to do if they, one, paid into the system, and two, unless you're trying to get out of federal time, but I don't even know if that would apply based on what Paul's said before.
I love Sam Worthington. Hey, Paul.
Get out of federal
dumbass. Hey, Paul.
What does that mean?
Hey, Paul.
Hey, dumbass.
Hey, Paul.
Dumbass.
Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul.
Oops, Pavlov fail.
Salute.
You piece of shit. I'm fucking sick of you.
I'm not, please. I'm Sam
How
Worthington.
does being a soft sing?
Salute.
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 Salute. Salute. Oh, come on. What is he even doing? What is he even doing? What is he doing?
That's
Is he
your
doing
father,
like-
Tony. That's your father who left and hasn't been back. I want to
Sam
reveal it to you.
Worthington. Hey,
That's
Paul.
your actual biological father, Jesse Hell.
Hey, Paul.
And Ian's his mother.
Angeline, go get Tony. Go get
Hey,
Tony,
Paul.
Angeline. We're gonna bring him to Chuck E. Cheese. Angeline.
Hey, Paul.
He's 22, but he still loves Chuck E. Cheese,
Hey, Paul.
just like his daddy.
Hey, Paul.
Yes.
I think you
Yes,
wanna
Tony.
I think you want to put on Sam Worthington.
God damn it. God damn it.
He's like that annoying nephew.
Mom. What?
I love Dick.
I love you, Jack.
I love Dick. Dick.
I love
Dick is
Sam
always
Worthington.
welcome.
I love Dick. Dick.
Okay. Hey, Paul. Paul?
You can keep repeating the words.
Okay. Hey, Paul.
You can keep repeating the words.
Hey, Paul.
Feminine bitch energy. Bitch energy. It's this feminine bitch energy. Bitch energy. Feminine bitch energy.
Hey, Paul.
You're an idiot. You're not listening to anything I'm saying.
I'm not.
Hey, Sam, Tony Quirlo, is it okay if Freak tells us about his Softset thing?
Yeah.
Maybe, please.
Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul.
You guys are fucking pathetic.
Hey, Paul. Paul? Paul? Hello? Paul? Hello?
This is my safe space. Please respect it.
Hey, Paul.
Dummy.
Do you want to put your Sam Worthington's face on that pros and ex-cons poster?
Fuck you! Jesus!
Emperor. Emperor.
You're a twisted motherfucker.
I'm not. I'm Sam Worthington.
Well, figure it out, motherfucker.
Okay.
I would love to fucking see you face to face.
Okay. I'm Sam Worthington.
Fucking liar.
Hey, don't call me that.
Fucking liar.
Stop. Stop now.
If you get past your fucking conclusions.
Stop calling me that. Sam Worthington. I'm Sam Worthington.
You get to receive what you receive.
Okay, Sam.
Miguel's
Okay,
dick.
I'm Sam.
Hey, dumbass.
Much alike.
Hey, you know what? I'm not going to continue your games. You can either grow up, give me. I'm trying to cooperate with you. I went and pulled the video. I'm trying, asking you what are you looking for? What is your deal,
I love Lacey Shabir.
dude?
And I love Lacey Shabir.
You're missing the point of what is actually happening here today.
No, sir. I am Sam Worthington.
And appreciate it.
Ex-con.
And if it continues, you will not be welcome here.
Hi, I am Sam Worthington, and I'm.
That's
if I'm
you.
not. Oh, excuse me. Amber Heard.
He is constantly in his feelers. You don't hear him?
Paul.
Scumbag.
Hey, Emperor. Hey there. I'm Sam Worthington from Pros and
You can keep repeating the words. And
Okay, I am Sam Worthington.
you can keep repeating the words and the action.
Okay, but stop saying that. You Jeff.
Lowlives!
Jeff.
Yay!
Stop putting it, Jeff Tolcott.
God damn it.
The freak.
You dumbass.
Hey, the freak. I'm gonna go.
Yo.
Yeah.
Is he gone?
He's gone.
All right, final words. Come on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. If you don't mind, I'd like to come back and ask you about that other stuff, like tomorrow or whatever. And appreciate you having me up, man. That's about it.
Absolutely, freak. The floor is yours at all times. Open and invitation.
Oh, appreciate that.
You're
Thanks.
the new official co-host.
There's a link in the back if you wanted to maybe do that, but that's up to you.
Yeah, I'm going to shut down and completely ignore it, but I appreciate you putting it there.
All right, thanks. Take care.
Thank you. It's going to be so hard for me to ignore that link, but I got to do it, you know. Go ahead. Emperor Commodus Powerstein.
May the freak be with you.
Thank you, sir. And that is a rather majestic and dashing headwear you got there. Perfect look. See, this is what happens when folks get with the program, right? Literally get with the program. You know, he was resisting it. I don't know why, because he looks amazing. My Joaquin Phoenix, Emperor Jew Powerstein.
I need a couple more red things. There's a couple more like red, like clippy things and a big red ring.
Yeah, you could throw a little, something on it here and there. Just,
This was
fill it out a little bit.
This was 10 green slave backs.
Slave limbs, yeah, that was 10 slave limbs.
Yeah, at the Halloween store.
All right, that's good stuff, man.
That's actually a lie. It's a family heirloom.
All right, well, you're also the new official co-host in the sense of I just want to see you thumb upping and thumbing down, and then of course from time to time you can get in where you fit in, right?
That's what they say. I mean, I feel like that's why Quirlo was here. He's trying to get something to fit in.
Right.
Potentially Miguel, because he said put me in. So.
Right. All right, get the hell out of here.
Good night.
We love you. We appreciate you. You're an amazing emperor. We will kneel.
I feel validated. You will not be mercilessly treated.
Thank you. All right. Hopefully my performance today in the arena pleased the emperor. He loves to release me to not only lions, tigers, and bears, but to tards, infidels, and miscreants. He likes to see me take them 3 at a time and come out worthy and virtuous, conquering, right? Are you not entertained? As the man said, Maximus. All right, folks, I'm out of here. Back tomorrow, somewhere between 12 and 5 MDT. Hopefully you got something out of this. If not, I just gave you a safe, semi-safe place to languish and linger, watch, wait, hate, and or celebrate while the world burns. Faithfully, I was going to say hopefully, but faithfully, you're preparing yourselves and shoring things up, battening down the hatches, doing the best you can to create a life to adapt and overcome potential future events. The rest, I guess, we have to surrender in faith and presume that God's got our back. We'll be where we're meant to be when we're meant to be there, surrounded by who we're meant to be with, even if that means we wind up in hell, I guess. That's a level of faith, huh? All right, Paul Unaffected on the way out. take your garbage with you, right? I want to have to clean up after you folks and wipe down the floors and the handles and stuff. There's some sticky stuff. I've been finding some sticky substance on the handles of the seats and on the ground. I don't know what it is. I'm going to presume it's some kind of refreshment or snack. But seriously, this is why we can't have nice things. Clean up around this place. All right, I'm out of here. Is it because I choose to work for myself and to be self-made, so to speak? Is it because I choose to uphold the law and understand legal versus lawful? When you folks wake up and realize you're not doing any of that, you're a go along to get along, lukewarm, mediocre slave who's literally just a pawn in a corporatist fascist system.
A lot of
never
looping
found
does go
yourself
on
or
here.
created yourself or even understood the idea of self-made. Yet you
God
want
damn it,
comment on other folks who had to go past complete insecurity, fear, doubt from self and from everyone around them, denial, disempowerment, right? Rejection, being rebuked, being persecuted, being prosecuted, and still somehow coming out better than ever for it. They all got something to say about me in this walk. When people want to take this walk with me, especially. You know what the funniest part about it is? They got no problem talking shit, demeaning me and what I do, devaluing me and her's relationship and our connection and our understanding and our walk. And the reason that we're doing this is it's intuitive and instinctual. They want to deny all that. But then we get the results and we get the dismissals. You don't hear hide nor hair of them. They don't come out and say, yeah, we were hating, we were lying, we were talking shit, we were acting like there was no movement there was no power, there's no credibility and value there, right? We tried to do all that, and then we got shown it was exactly the opposite, and we just act like it never fucking happened, right? That's the game. I see you motherfuckers doing what you are. You're the most pathetic, pitiful pack of loser failures you could ever see. And the sad part is it's the majority of folks. You folks are so ignorant and arrogant and unwilling to look at yourselves and what you created, but then call people like Paulie Boy a loser when I am rugged, entrepreneurial, individualistic, Americana, interdependent, if anything, but not codependent. And then there's like a whole other world that came forth. Networks of folks, rights, freedom, principles, spiritual faith, dismissals out the ass, changing the whole game on Denver. We've literally completely changed the game and put it back in its proper perspective, at least on the main state where that video is famous, infamous, if you will. And they're going to sit here and deny the walk. So again, I'm not complaining. If anything, I'm bearing witness and testimony, and I'm inspiring and motivating a whole other group of motherfuckers to come forth and be what they're meant to be, and just remind them that, hey, when you walk this path in life, you may have access to big things and you may have big dreams and all the rest of it. Just stay focused, do the next right thing, keep the faith, and play a long game. Because if not, you will get tricked out of your power and position. And I'm not claiming I haven't done it to myself at certain times. I may be doing it right now. Right? But a lot of my ranting, my raving, my rambling when I come on here, if nothing else, is to inspire, motivate you folks. I'm living an authentic life. I'm pushing past fears and challenges. I'm going to the unknown many times, or to where few have gone before.
You can keep repeating the words and the actions over and over and tell yourself, I'm living. I'm doing it all on my own. I'm doing good.
God of all media.